contra Dibu Martínez. Marciniak lo va a molestar, creo. Amarilla para Dibu.
No, no es... Ay, no alcanzo a ver desde acá.
Le va a pegar Kolo Muani.
Sí.
Contra Dibu Martínez. Va Kolo Muani. ¡Gol!
Reventó la portería ahí en el centro con un muy buen zapatazo.
Montiel.
Necesita hacer este gol la selección argentina.
Montiel, que convirtió el tercero para salir en todas las fotos. Ahí va Montiel. Ahí va Montiel.
Foto, historia. Que Dios lo acompañe.
Ahí va Montiel con la ilusión de todos los argentinos. Contra Loris. Gonzalo Montiel. Va Montiel. Montiel, gol. Argentina campeón. Argentina campeón del mundo. Argentina campeón del mundo. Argentina campeón del mundo. Argentina campeón del mundo. Argentina es campeón del mundo. Desde el cielo lo hizo Diego. Lo hizo Cuchufo. Lo hizo el Tata. Lo hizo Luque. Lo hicieron ustedes, jugadores, que se ganaron el cielo. Argentina campeón del mundo. Messi es campeón del mundo. No podía ser de otra manera sino sin sufrir. Argentina, la selección argentina de Lionel Scaloni es campeón del mundo. Argentina. Argentina campeón del mundo, bicho.
And with that, we kick off a impromptu Sunday. It's not even afternoon yet. Sunday afternoon. Argentina is, unfortunately, the champion of this fucking bullshit World Cup. Sorry, I'm very emotional right now. And if you're on Twitter Spaces or live on YouTube chat with the Cantina MX handle, just add us, man. But obviously, this is off the cuff. Obviously, a controversial World Cup final. Controversial World Cup from before even the first match. But in penalty shootouts, Argentina wins. And it goes down to execution. You had a French team that was absolutely dead in that first half of regular time. A controversial penalty call against Dembele gives Argentina the opportunity to get a really early 1-0 lead, which ended up changing the entire dynamic of the match. Then you had Di Maria score the second one, and all of a sudden it just felt like this game was over, that France was dead. And in almost a premature method, you had Deschamps take out two players and immediately change his tactics right before halftime. I mean, it wasn't even 45 minutes yet. And in the second half, it just felt more of the same. France was making a lot of elementary mistakes, like messing up a throw-in, just messing up the passing. And I want to say for the 70 minutes of that final, it just felt like it was over. All the Argentina fans, and I was watching the game on Telemundo, Andres Cantor, everybody was counting their chickens. They were ready. They were ready to celebrate, but all of a sudden, in the dying minutes of the match, with 10 minutes to go, you get Mbappe scoring off of a penalty kick, and then with another brilliant one-time finish volley, he ties it up 2-2, and the entire momentum shifted. The stadium, the crowd, silent, and it felt like the defending champions had found their champion DNA. It looked like the things were going in their favor, and a few things right before the end of regular time. You had two breakaways, And people like sleep on this stuff, but I noticed this. I'm very meticulous when it comes to these refereeing decisions. But you had 2 breakaways, and both times the referee blew the whistle, did not allow for the advantage, because Argentina were caught with their pants down twice in the regular time towards the end of the 90 minutes. There was 2 plays where the French player had, Argentina had put all the bodies up front, and France, they took the ball and boom, slide tackle foul. Both times the play could have went on, and it could have been, they could have been caught with their pants down. Referee decides to call those fouls, and just a lot of things that were kind of controversial refereeing. What bothers me the most is the referee did not go to VAR on any of the PKs, which this is a World Cup final. We waited 4 years to get to this point. You disputed over 64 games. When it comes to like the final itself, you hate to have the referee be the topic of conversation. You want to talk about a great final. You want to talk about an entertaining final. Yes, it was, but it's hard not to ignore some of the calls that the referee decided to make. You go to overtime, and Argentina scores yet again, and it was very confusing. A lot of conflicting emotions there, even from Andres Cantor, who thought the play didn't count. It looked like there might have been offsides. In the end, it was a legitimate goal. Messi scores it. The ball was clearly over the line, and at that point, it was Argentina. And of course, French never gave up that championship DNA, that experience, and they tied the game up yet again, drew a foul inside the box, and Mbappe, just a cold heart, man. This dude's a fucking amazing player, and he puts the ball in the back of the net for the second time and forces the game into penalty shootout. But again, right before the end of overtime, France had a very clear chance to finally put this away and put the game to bed. And I think like the striker just he just rushed it a little bit too much. He had a one-on-one chance with the goalie. The goalie had an amazing save. I'm not going to discredit the goalie's incredible save that ended up costing, France the final. If I'm being completely honest, I mean, that ball should have been in the back of the net. He had so much time. He could have put it away. He could have passed it. He could have done a lot of things, but at the end of the day, you force the game into penalties. And I'm not going to complain about the penalty shootout. I think it was, at that point, it's a coin flip. It goes to anyone. At that point, no tactics, no nothing. It's just you either put them away or you don't. Some players can live up to those moments. Some players can't. Obviously, France not having the best memories with PKs. They lost the 2006 final against Italy in PKs. They lost their best player, Zidane in 2006 in that final against Italy. And like the French people were a little bit wary going into that penalty shootout. And the massive balls for Mbappe going first and showing the leadership and showing why he is, France's best player and putting away his 3rd penalty of the day. I mean, mathematically, the odds are against you to take 3 PKs in one game and to put them all in the back of the net. That's massive, massive balls for Mbappe. But at the end of the day, man, it's about executing your penalty shots. And I don't know if the French players just were a little bit too nervous, a little bit shaky. And obviously you have to give credit to the goalkeeper Martinez with those mind games. And honestly, almost like unsportsmanship with one of the penalties. He held the ball and then he kicked it. And he kind of like iced the kicker a little bit, kind of getting into that mental head game. Because when it comes to penalty shootouts, it's all mental. It's all mental. They all have the physical capacity to put these in the back of the net. But there's mind games. The goalie always plays a part in those, and Martinez did it. And Lloris was just a little bit too timid. I think he should have fucked with those Argentinian players. But in the end, you got to give credit where credit's due. Argentina won the match, and they won their 3rd final. Messi finally gets the missing trophy from his trophy cabinet, the World Cup, and I think it can put all those arguments to rest of like who is the best player in this time. As of right now, it's Messi. Mbappe obviously showing that he's going to carry the torch. But it almost felt in a sense that FIFA wanted to build like this entire World Cup around Messi and Ronaldo, and they wanted them to have deep runs. And like, let's not talk about how Argentina in almost every match except like the Mexico match, all for 2 matches, they were gifted a penalty in every single fucking game. So there's a little bit of that where it's like, I don't know how much that had an influence on what ended up happening, but it's in FIFA's best interest to have a player like Messi finish his career and win a World Cup and kind of be like the spokesmanship, kind of be like the poster boy for FIFA for the next 30 years as far as being an ambassador to the sport. And for the first time in a long time, the World Cup trophy goes to South America. It had been dominated by Europe for such a long time, and now it's back in South America. And I know what this means for the country of Argentina. Good for them. The way they love the sport, the way they follow it, the way they live it. It's a passion that's kind of hard to replicate in any other part of the world. You talk about Mexico. Obviously, I'm Mexican. Obviously, our podcast revolves around the Mexican national team and Liga MX. And I'll be honest, we feel it. We feel the passion. We definitely have that sort of emotion towards the sport. But I do think that it's at another level in Argentina. And you notice it, you feel it. And like I said, you gotta give credit where credit's due. In the end, I enjoyed it. It was an entertaining final. Probably the best final I've seen in my lifetime. And the dramatic motion, the way it all played out in the end was dramatic. I think my favorite part of this final was obviously the last 10 minutes. A team that was absolutely dead, had no business still being in the match, and France somehow they reached deep and they found a way to get in. And I wonder, will Mbappe have another opportunity at a World Cup trophy? and I don't know, man. I really don't know. You know how hard it is to repeat finals? Just to get back to a World Cup final after winning one? Practically impossible. So for France to do it back-to-back, very impressive. And I think that this might be Mbappe's last opportunity at winning a World Cup. I'm being dead serious. You don't know what another 4 years will do. There's a lot of players on that French team that probably won't be around for the next one. Obviously, they have so much squad. They have so much depth. They have a lot of young players. They have a young talent. Mbappe will be still in his 20s for their next World Cup. I'm not trying to be dramatic, but let's be honest. How likely are they to repeat another World Cup final? It's just this isn't like the 60s and 70s. It's a very competitive game. It's obviously been globalized. We saw that this World Cup. We've seen a lot of upsets. We saw Saudi Arabia beat Argentina. We saw, Morocco have a deep run. You have these surprising results. You had Germany and Belgium obviously crashing out of this one. And the next one's going to have 48 teams. And the next one is probably going to have powerhouses like Italy who have been biding their time. You have Italy who they've had to sit out in the last 2 World Cups. The next World Cup is going to be very difficult for this French team to make it to another final. I think Mbappe might have missed out on a second trophy. Who knows? Who knows what the future has in store for the French team? I applaud them for giving their hearts out today, but those penalties, man, you got to be ready. You got to be mentally prepared for them. You have to expect them. You have to practice them. And, at the end of the day, I don't think the best team won. Argentina, like I said, basically just had their entire final gift wrap for them, starting from the group stage all the way up to now. And I think the part that hurts me as a Mexican is the fact that we had Argentina out of the World Cup, man. They had lost to Saudi Arabia. We had them by the fucking balls. If we would have tied or beat Argentina in the group stage, none of this would have fucking happened. But of course, our coach is from Argentina, and he served us up on a silver platter, and the rest is history. And that's all I have to say about that. We have some listeners on Twitter Spaces. Ricardo, feel free to hop on. I want to hear your thoughts on this. But at the end of the day, I think this settles the debate. Messi, Ronaldo. Obviously, Messi having that World Cup trophy, that's going to be the bragging rights for the rest of their lives and the rest of their career. I don't like these sort of comparisons to the players of the past, like Maradona and Pele. I think what Messi has done, obviously, in his club career is going to be hard to replicate by any player. And him winning the World Cup, I think he's a great player, probably the best of his generation with Ronaldo, but let's not get carried away here. Talk to me, Ricardo. Welcome to the podcast. How we doing?
How's it going?
Doing good, man.
Good. Man, I was watching this game, and I was sick to my stomach from beginning to end. Disgusting, man. Like you said, gift wrapped, predetermined. Everyone knew what was going on, and but what really just made my guts just turn was Cantor, the biased man. He's Argentine and everything, and I get it. I would probably be doing the same thing, but it was just unbearable to listen to.
Yeah, and then it's like you don't really have a choice because you try to put it on Fox. You're like, I want to blow my brains out. Like
Exactly, man.
Both choices are just terrible to listen to.
Right? Like if you want to die by being burned alive or by drowning, like both are bad.
And you know what? My favorite part of the game was when Argentina was up 2-0 with 10 minutes to spare, and then you had the penalty kick, and then you had the Mbappe within 2-3 minutes of that scores again, and you just felt the soul getting sucked out of Cantor, and everybody on that broadcast, they were just like,
that was lovely, man.
That was the best part of the game. That was the best part of the game. Like, yes, it's happening.
For sure. But I wanted to say, Jaime, I gave that first PK that Messi got, everyone that isn't Argentine, soft, non-existent, fake penalty. But what really had me surprised, because I was watching it over here at my brother's house, and that right after France came back, they tied it up. Like I forget, it was the 83rd or 84th minute, and that big midfielder, I don't know how to pronounce, something with a T.
Tchouaméni.
I think they gave him a yellow card, but man, that was a clear penalty for France, man. That the game should have. They should have.
Oh, are you talking about the dive?
Oh no, that wasn't a dive, man. He got hit in the foot.
Oh, you're talking about Thuram then? Yeah, Thuram. He had that foul inside the box, and yeah. I mean, it wasn't like a dive, but as soon as he felt contact, he just boom, like a sack of potatoes. He fell inside the box, and I think that's why the referee gave him a yellow, because there was contact. Don't get me wrong, there was.
Pero le pesó, Jaime. That guy was scared to call another penalty.
Yeah, before you hopped on, I was saying how disappointing it was that they didn't go to VAR for any of these PKs, and it's like, dude, it's the World Cup final, man. Like, even if you have somebody whispering in your ear or telling you like you as a referee need to secure that decision now that you have the tools, because I mean VAR wasn't around in other World Cup past, but now it's like, dude, you have to verify this shit. You can't just go off of whatever they're yelling in your ear. Just verify these penalties, bro. Look at them on the replay and see if it actually was or was not. Because that Dembele PK was not one, dude. That shit was fucking soft. That was a soft ass call.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, the VAR, a couple of podcasts back or a while back, you said VAR really hasn't changed anything. They just made the game even worse. And I used to differ with you about that. But man, it's true. VAR, if they're not even using it right, so what's the point of having it?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, if you are going to implement this into the game that's been around for a long time, and then you reject it, it's like, what's the fucking point? What's the point of all this, man? And then they'll go to VAR for the stupidest shit, But it's like, dude, the calls that matter the most, the ones that get end up changing history, those are the ones. And another thing I mentioned earlier was right before the end of regular time, there was 2 fouls. Like Argentina was pushing numbers up, and France got the possession, and they were ready to break loose and hit him with the counterattack. And then they get slide tackle, and the referee doesn't let the play go on because it looked like they still had possession of the ball. The referee blows the whistle, and then they have to like reset the play, and that allowed Argentina to like get back on defense. That happened twice before the end of regular time.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's like, dude, just let the play go on, and then if it doesn't work out, then call the foul. But don't just blow the whistle. Like, dude, you caught them with their pants down. This was France's strategy. Like, Mbappe was going to kill him on the counter. And damn, bro, it's just like little things like that people don't notice or they kind of let slide. Like, no, dude, they make a difference in this match.
Definitely. But I wanted to mention something else, Jaime. I wanted to bring in the Mexico factor in this because I think this does affect Mexico in a way, Argentina winning. Because maybe I'm looking too much into this and call me a cynic, a conspiracy theorist or whatever. But everyone is like Argentina, everyone knows it's a poor country. So the players they produce, they gotta have that extra bit of skill or grit to like pass to get to where they want to be, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think also like throughout the history of Liga MX, man, and even Mexican football, it's full of these Argentine guys, and them winning another World Cup is just more publicity for them, man. It really is if you think about it.
They're already arrogant bastards. Don't give them another, don't give another one to fucking brag even more, dude. It's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say, though, at the end of the day, this is France's fault because they did have that last play of the match. I forgot the striker's name. Had that one-on-one with the goalkeeper. And he just, like, fucking rushed it, bro. Like, he had all the time in the world to put that away. He shoots it right at the goalkeeper. I'm like, bro, you could have passed it. You could have fainted. You could have done something. This dude, like, rushed it. And, dude, that would have been it. That would have been game over right there. It would have been – and everybody fucking knew that. That would have been game over, dude.
Yeah.
But, again, this all – like, there's, like, the memes with, like, the small domino and then, like, the large domino. Like, Argentina winning the World Cup, but then you go all the way to the beginning. And I think all the way to the beginning goes to Mexico and Tata Martino, bro. Fucking handing that game on to them in a silver platter, not having the balls to go toe-to-toe with them, not having the balls to be aggressive. And, Luis Chavez obviously talked about, like, I didn't understand the game plan. I didn't understand what Tata was trying to have us do, putting us in a formation we had never practiced before. It's like, dude, like, obviously there was, like, that foul play there. Like, it's kind of, it's controversial having a coach that's not from your country and then their country's in the World Cup. And it's like, come on, bro.
It just hasn't worked out for Mexico with these Argentine guys.
It hasn't. And I don't know why we keep, like, slobbing their knob, like, having them, please, like, give us advice. Please, enlighten us with your tactics. It's like, dude, fuck all that shit, bro. We need to start, like, looking within and starting to give the opportunity to our own.
For sure.
We have people on YouTube chat. Jose said, if Mexico would have actually played against Argentina, I think this would have been different. And Josue also said, Tata won the World Cup for Argentina. Yeah. I tweeted on the Cantina account, like, him going to the locker room celebrating with Argentinian players and stuff. At the end of the day, Tata won, dude. Like, he got paid out fat for coaching Mexico. He helps his country win a World Cup. And everyone hates him, right? Everyone's talking shit to him in Mexico. And this dude's probably celebrating right now. He's probably smiling.
Oh, yeah. He's taking all that cash back to what's his club? The Knowles?
Yeah.
Oh, they're going to have a good time over there.
Yeah. I'm trying to prepare for all the cringe shit that I'm going to see in the next couple of days on Twitter. You have those, like, Argentina fans that put, like, tattoo the entire, like, starting lineup or the like, you've seen those tattoos, bro. They're so cringe, bro.
Have you seen the one with the guy that's been tattooing all the group stage matches?
Yeah.
The results all?
He tattooed all the results. There was a guy that I think when River won the Copa Libertadores, he tattooed the QR code or the YouTube link of them winning it, and then somebody like flagged that video for like, copyright, and then the link broke, so his tattoo of a QR code is absolutely meaningless now. But this is the kind of shit we have to deal with, bro, when Argentina wins. As far as like looking at this, with Messi, with this, obviously now like the final trophy in his cabinet, you think they're gonna call him like the greatest of all time?
Well, people were saying that even before he won it. Did you see those tweets of those Mexican reporters? They were saying, "Oh, even if he doesn't win it, to me, he's already the greatest of all time."
Yeah.
And if we dissect the numbers, Jaime, this guy's a pecho frio in finals, man. That gift penalty just changed like the statistics and the history. But this guy just does. If you really break down his performance in both World Cups finals that he was in, the guy really hasn't been that much of a difference maker. If anything, Di Maria got him that Copa America
Di Maria,
and
bro.
this final, man.
I don't know who they end up giving the like game of the or match, like man of the match trophy to, because it should have been Di Maria.
Oh, it was Messi.
Yeah, it was always gonna be Messi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Di Maria, like, I don't know why they took him out so early, bro, but he was the reason why they got that second goal. He was doing a lot of that. I mean, he was exposing that side, bro, and like Deschamps made those substitutions. Like, he's like, fuck it, I gotta figure this out.
Those guys are really missing that guy N'Golo Kante.
Yeah.
And Pogba. That guy those two guys were real factors in that 2018 World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
And that midfield was a little soft for my liking for France.
And obviously, like the Ballon d'Or winner Benzema, I think Benzema would have been a nightmare to deal with.
Oh, for sure.
But it's so hard for a country to like repeat. You know, it's like obviously back in the day it was easier, but now in modern football, like for France to even get back to a final after winning it, very impressive. And I don't know what the future is for France. Obviously, they have a deep squad. They have a lot of young players, but I doubt Mbappe is gonna return to a final 4 years from now. Especially considering that they're basically allowing everyone to have a participation award in the next one. 48 countries. Like what kind of value, what kind of what kind of competition are you breeding when you allow 48 countries to go to the World Cup? You know, it used to be like 16, then it was like 24, now 32, and then 48. It's like at one point everyone's gonna be allowed to go to the World Cup. So it's gonna be harder. There's gonna be more matches. It's gonna be a lot more complicated for a team to, like, especially like France to go to another one. We'll see though.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I will say it was an entertaining match. Probably the best final I've seen in World Cup history. But I was complaining probably like an hour into the match. I'm like, this is boring as shit, man. This is going to be the most bullshit final victory ever. You know, and France gave us that shot of adrenaline towards the end. So I do commend them for that. Overall, it was an entertaining final. It
was looking like it was going to be 2-0, right?
Yeah, it looked like it was 2-0, and I was just like, fuck, man. I had the Mbappe gif ready to go with him crying, like the little like cry celebration. I was so ready to post that. I was like, fuck, I don't have the time to post it. They're losing.
Yeah. Man, I must have turned off the game like 3 times, and I kept getting notifications that France came back, and I was like, damn, man, like these. But once I seen that they were going to penalties, I just knew Argentina was going to win, man. That's their game.
Yeah. No, it did feel like once you go to a penalty shootout, dude. And those mind games, bro, we're talking about Martinez, like throwing the ball and having the player go pick it up and icing the kicker, dude. That was a tactic that worked out in his favor, but that was a little bit unsportsmanlike, and I think he should have got a yellow for doing that. That was kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
Anyone else on Twitter Spaces, feel free to hop in. Let me know what you guys thought of this final. I know we have a lot of Messi fans, a lot of bandwagoners. I'm sure all of India is like celebrating right now. or maybe half of India. Maybe the other half is like still defending Ronaldo, but I think the debate's finally settled who's like the better player. You know, people are gonna say, well, Messi won a World Cup, Ronaldo didn't.
And Jaime, I think the USA in this World Cup got that moniker of being everyone's team, el equipo de todos.
Oh,
But if you look around on social media and everyone and people that are not Argentine, it feels like Argentina is everyone's team. You got Central Americans wearing Argentina jerseys, even Mexicans wearing Argentina jerseys. Man, it's crazy.
oh, dude, I can't stand it, man.
Cringe.
All the Brians, Wilbers, and Kevins. Those are
Marlon.
those are the same people that like, oh, I'm from Peru, but soy de Argentina, you know. Tengo sangre de Alemania. You know?
It's South American unity, right?
Yeah.
That's what they say.
You know, it's funny because people are like, oh, diversity wins. And you're like, not Argentina, bro. Not Argentina. Nope. Yeah. I don't know, man. I understand from a neutral perspective, like, give it to Argentina. Why not? Because they don't really know football like that.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know how xenophobic that country is and how fucking racist they are.
Yeah.
And like, dude, just like the fans, it was unbearable. It was unbearable watching this whole World Cup, like the chants and the fucking shit talking. Ah, dude, I can't stand it.
Oh, and they wear that. Them knowing that those fake penalties happened and they were favored, they wear that as a badge of honor, man. It's very, very disgusting to witness.
Yup, absolutely, man. It's just, and that's part of the game, and that's part of Argentina's culture. And you had FIFA basically punishing Mexico for the chants and for the whatever they claimed that was offensive. And meanwhile, they look the other way with some other shit. And I don't like that.
Hey, man, I said it before. Mexico's held to a standard these other countries aren't held to for whatever reason.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on. For the next World Cup, we'll see what happens. Mexico's already in it. They've already qualified. So we have that. No more Messi, no more Ronaldo, no more I don't know. Who else? Ochoa, who knows? He might want to return to another World Cup. I hope he doesn't though.
Yeah, I hope do you know that movie about that figure skater, that girl that got injured?
Oh, yeah.
That her opponent hit her with
she like
her
when they were warming up, right?
Husband. Yeah, the husband hit her with her broke her leg with an iron bar.
Oh, you're talking about that one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully something like that happens to Ochoa, but not to that extreme. I don't want that guy anymore either.
Oh man. Johnny Rico, welcome to the podcast. How are your thoughts? How you feeling? You happy? You sad? You don't care?
What's up, everyone? Well, I kind of wanted both teams to lose, but especially Argentina. Especially Argentina. I tweeted that, congratulations on winning Copa Corrupción.
I like that.
Yeah.
Rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, from start to finish, since Qatar got awarded to the corrupt champion.
Yeah, I don't know what there is to gain for like helping a country like Argentina. Is it just because Messi and him wanting him to be like the face of the sport, and like I don't know, I don't understand the decision, because like look, he's on his way out. Why not? Mbappe's young, man. Mbappe's young. He's the future of the sport. But they kind of wanted to give this one's for Messi. That was like the vibe.
Mbappe's young, but he's already won it. Like
Mbappe
can just flop the rest of his career, and he achieved everything Messi did.
That's true.
Yeah. Now, but you know what I get? Now I get the feeling that how the rest of Liga MX feels towards America. Like, you just hate watching that team just win.
Good point, Johnny.
Yeah. It's a bad feeling. Like I just wanted to be done with it. I was at a watch party in San Diego. I just wanted to go home. Like fuck fuck soccer.
Hey, there was parts of that final that made me like just rethink like why do I even bother, dude? Like why do I even bother watching this shit? Like there was a part of me that was like dead, bro. Like when they were up 2-0 and the game was almost over, I'm like, fuck this sport. Fuck Argentina, fuck Messi, fuck FIFA, fuck this corruption shit. And then, they gave us a little bit something at the end to make it more entertaining, but there was a part of me that was just like contemplating this entire thing, bro. Like
yeah, I was there too. But something you guys were saying, I think Mexico having Ochoa at the next World Cup, first player in history to go to 6. I mean, that's something Mexico can hang their hats on.
it's nothing to be proud of, though. That means that you haven't been able to spit out a keeper in 20 something years. That's alarming. That's concerning. But I understand it for the history's sake, for the milestone. Like, yeah, 6 is pretty cool, but that dude should not be in the next one.
Yeah. 6 is just like nobody has ever been able to reach 6. And 41 really is not that old for a keeper. There's been other 41-year-old keepers at the World Cup, but even they couldn't get to 6.
Yeah. And you think about like Italy missing out on the last 2. I'm pretty sure Buffon would have been there in 2018. And yeah, I mean, everybody knows Ochoa. Like the world knows Ochoa. The world knows he shows up every 4 years, and I just don't want to see him there. I just don't, dude. Like it just reminds me of. It's just like fuck, dude. Like really, we don't have any other like goalkeeper. Like come on, dude.
Like right now, his contract's about to be up with America, so who knows where he's gonna end up.
MLS for sure.
Like, there's an off chance he ends up in Europe, but he has that European passport now.
Yeah. Yeah, he could easily. I could see him going back to Europe, especially after this, World Cup performance. But it's very hard to give a foreigner a spot in the goalkeeping position.
He has that European passport now.
Oh, okay. So I guess maybe he could go back to Lazio. There was a guy who
he'll end up
willing to sell his house to pay for his wages.
No, he'll end up like in Spain or something. I want him to stay at America. That's for sure. Like I wouldn't want anyone else but Ochoa.
Really?
America.
I feel like he's like Heckel and Jai. What is it? Jai? What's the fucking
Jekyll and Hyde?
Yeah, that's him, bro. Like for Mexico, he shows up, and then for America, he's like coladera, man.
He was the reason why while America was struggling with Solari, like we were with Solari would win 1-0 games in the last minute of the game, and that's because Ochoa kept them there the whole time.
Yeah.
He's been America's saving grace this whole time.
From an MLS perspective, he would be a huge draw, and especially now with Liam Mekis and MLS being butt buddies, and you got the Leagues Cup next year. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't end up in the MLS, especially like in a team like Los Angeles. I just feel like he would be a huge draw there, and he could get like people would go and watch him.
Yeah, but that would probably kiss his 6th World Cup away. Like that's where Chicharito goes to die. That's where Alan Pulido goes to die. That's where Hector Herrera goes to die.
Well, the defending in MLS is trash, so he would be very busy. It's why he was the best goalkeeper in League One, because Lazio was just like terrible, and he actually was the goalkeeper that conceded the most goals, but also had the most saves.
Yeah.
So a shitty defense gives a goalkeeper a lot of opportunity, and I know there's a lot of closet MLS fans that live in LA that support America or support Mexico. And I know that these fuckers would be season ticket holders. They'd start wearing the jersey. They'd start with the chance if Ochoa showed up and played in the MLS. I just know it. I know there's people out there that will go out and support him.
Yeah, from a marketing stance, Ochoa's the best thing that could happen to MLS right now. But for the good of the little bit of career he has left, I don't think that's the move.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I would be surprised if a team from Europe doesn't pick him up.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the wages, I'm sure America is paying him very well.
Yeah, I mean the way he came back to come save America, it probably wasn't cheap for America to bring him back after Marchesín left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's getting probably a nice paycheck from America, so it would take a lot for MLS to bring him, which I'm sure they're willing to pay.
Yeah. Well, if he's on an expiring contract, they don't have to pay a fee, a transfer fee. They just have to pay his wages. We have Josue on YouTube chat saying, "Who should be Mexico's coach for the next cycle?" Very good question.
Turco Mohamed.
I don't want another foreigner, man. It's got to be Mexican.
Well, I mean, I want a Mexican too, but if it's a foreigner, it has to be someone like Turco Mohamed that's practically a Mexican.
I don't know if Turco's the answer though, man.
If if Turco can make a shitty team like Tijuana champions, like he knows how to sacarle provecho to the Mexican talent or the lack of Mexican talent.
I think they need to go outside the box. I'm not saying Mexico's Argentina, but their coach, zero coaching experience, zero. His mind hasn't been like through the gutter like that. He hasn't been consumed by the Argentine politics and all that. Maybe Mexico needs just a fresh face, someone that hasn't been corrupted, like a young guy, just something different, man. Like an asistente for that someone that is just starting off,
Michel Leaño.
Except that guy.
No, I think, all right, this is what Mexico needs. They need a player coach. And what I mean by that is they need a guy who's going to be like someone that the players like look up to and can trust, and still kind of young. And Tata was not that, bro. He was old. He was disconnected from Liga MX. You can't have that. I don't like Piojo. I don't think he's a good coach, but he is a very good cheerleader, and he does get the best out of the players emotionally and mentally. And I think you need something like that. You need like a young coach. Something like Matias Almeida, bro. Matias Almeida was a really good cheerleader. Very good cheerleader. You need someone like that.
You mean like a Rafa Marquez?
Rafa Marquez, I do want him to coach Mexico. I wouldn't do that to him right now, though. I think like he still needs to get a little bit more experience. Obviously, he's in Barcelona right now, but I do eventually want to see Rafa Marquez coach the national team.
Here's like where what I saw as a problem being over the last 8 years with Osorio and Tata, that these guys come in and they want to play their 4-3-3 because that's what they think is the best tactics, but they have no clue what the strengths and weaknesses of the Mexican player is. Like they don't know that Mexico just doesn't have a good enough striker to be in the middle all by himself, and they just want to force their ideas with talent that is just not there. So that's why I say we need someone that knows the strengths and weaknesses of the Mexican players and knows how to minimize the weaknesses, how to maximize the strengths, and that just has been around Mexican players.
No, I agree. And, I've been watching the Maestros de la Jugada on TUDN, and, obviously they have a lot of personalities on there, a lot of coaches, and La Volpe just keeps dropping the knowledge and showing that he's on top of his game. And he's like the only exception I would make to the rule. I think he would be the only like foreigner that I would allow to coach the national team, because I feel like he knows what Mexico needs, and he's very good at spotting talent, and he's not part of like that whole seniority thing. Like he'll give a young player a chance. He did it with Andres Guardado, and like, he did it with Ochoa. It's like this guy is willing to play the best players that are in form.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a little too old. The last go he had with America, his tactics just seemed a little outdated. So I don't know how good he'd be. I think his time
I
has
think
passed.
him and then Jimmy Lozano as assistant would be a really good combination because then you could have that young guy who can, because
Yeah.
La Volpe was like kind of brushing off the data. You know how like players now wear like the bra or whatever the tracking thing that shows how much kilometers they run a game, and he was just like that's all fucking bullshit. Like he doesn't really believe in like the modern science that's involved in football. But I think like a guy like Jimmy could kind of like help him decipher everything and be like, hey, no, this is something that you should look at. I think that'd be a really good combo. I don't think Jimmy is ready to coach the national team, but I do want him part of the process.
Yeah. What about the Pachuca coach?
There's always the flavor of the month. You always have whoever's doing successful in Liga MX is always going to be a candidate for the national team.
Yeah.
And
The
I don't
thing with
know.
Pachuca, is though they've been a little successful, a little over a month. So they've kind of kept their foot on the gas, and they were finally able to cap it off with a championship.
No, yeah, I'm not denying Pachuca has been consistent. They've been great. They obviously pump out a lot of players, a lot of young players. You had Luis Chavez was the big revelation of the national team in the World Cup.
Yeah.
You have the Kevin Alvarez of the world. You have
Although Luis Chavez, I've watched Luis Chavez come out of the Tijuana youth system. He was part of the U20 when I worked there.
oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he's been someone I've been excited to watch the entire time.
Wow. Yeah, I honestly like really hadn't kept up with him, and I don't think he had too much of a showing in the process leading up to the World Cup, and he proved everybody wrong, and he showed that he was up there. It's like
Yeah, he played. He got to learn from people like Cristian Pellerano and Guido Rodriguez.
yeah.
Like he really got to learn that midfield position very well.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. Almada, maybe.
Yeah,
The problem is like when you start, oh, it should be a Mexican coach. It's like, well, fuck, who do we have? We have fucking Nacho Ambriz. We have Piojo Herrera. We have Jimmy Lozano. We have, the list is just very short,
Vucetich.
Yeah, Vucetich. Oh God, don't want
Well,
him.
I seen Almada say recently that he's only looking forward to being the Uruguay coach.
And I appreciate that honesty and transparency because how much passion and how much can you have for a team that's not, or a country that's not yours? It's there's always that that thing in the back of my mind, like how committed are they to this?
Yeah. Hey, but Guido Rodriguez, he's a naturalized Mexican, so Mexican one was part of a World Cup team, man.
Man, I thought you were already suggesting new players for Mexico. Like, no, it's a little too late for that one.
Yeah.
Who's that Argentinian player that America has right now? The midfielder?
Midfield.
No, we don't. There is
We
no
don't-
Argentine.
You mean the
midfielder.
the Spaniard?
Oh, he's
Fidalgo?
Spanish?
Yeah. Fidalgo, yeah, he's.
Oh,
from
the guy
Spain.
that played for Madrid.
The youth system.
Castilla.
Damn.
No, but he also already said that he's flattered by the interest, but he would only represent Spain. I respect that too, man.
Damn. Even though it's
he-
probably not gonna happen.
He's young. Give him another World Cup cycle and realize he'll never play for that national team.
I mean, you got players like Gavi and Pedri who are younger than him and were starters in the World Cup. So, yeah.
That I'm telling you, that guy didn't make his professional debut until he got to America.
That's crazy.
And it worked out for him.
Yeah, kind of. He hasn't won a championship yet, but how about this one, Diego Coca from Atlas?
Yeah, I mean, I want to say tonight he's playing against his former club.
Yeah, I think he'd be a good coach. The thing is, you need someone strong enough to deal with the bullshit of the federation.
You have to have a coach who's like clean but dirty, willing to roll in the mud with whatever the FMF wants them to do, as far as pulling players for marketing reasons, as far as again slobbing the knob of some and U.S. soccer and MLS. Like you have to have a coach who's willing to put up with that bullshit, but also get the job done. And there's not too many that can fit that bill.
Those would be my top choices: Turco Mohamed and Diego Coca. Like they are foreigners, but they're like Mexican foreigners. They're Mexican enough.
Oh, it looks like yesterday they played. I thought it was today. It was Tigres versus Atlas, and Tigres ended up winning that match.
Wait, I haven't kept up with the transfer market. Diego Coca's at Tigres now?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. He left Atlas. He's coaching Tigres. Piojo's gone. That's why he's nominating himself for the national team.
Yeah.
They say he lost the Atlas locker room by the end of last season.
Oh.
There was infighting going on. That's why he left.
I mean, this guy should be a saint for Atlas. Like this dude pulled off the miracle of all miracles. We're talking about a club that hadn't won anything since TV was still black and white, and to give them 2 titles, he's good for life, bro. Atlas is good for life. He's good for life.
Yeah.
Josue Matias, with the expansion of the World Cup, does CONCACAF need to be reworked? I don't see Mexico or the U.S. taking the A team to the Gold Cup. They're going to want to be in Copa America. Josue, so the Gold Cup is next year, if I'm not mistaken. I know the Nations League is also happening next season.
USA already announced that they're doing Copa America.
Is it official? I don't think it's official.
Yeah. I thought I heard USA officially announced Copa America.
I know them and Canada were already trying to make it happen as far as like just participating in Copa America, but I haven't heard anything from CONMEBOL just yet.
Oh. Well, this was like official from U.S. Soccer Federation.
Yeah. So Josue, the Gold Cup will be this or next year in June, and then the Copa America would be in 2024. So they don't necessarily have to send a B side or A side. They can send their best both times. As far as the Nation League, I think that's the next fixture for the national team. So that's in March, and Mexico will obviously need to have a coach by then. And right now it's been very quiet, which is fine for me. I don't want them to make a rush decision and put a coach that, again, happens to be the flavor of the month. I'm totally okay with them taking their time, but I do think there needs to be some resignations in order as well. You got the fucking egghead dude and the other guy. They're just like, they need to go.
Who's the egghead dude?
The president of Liga MX, I forgot his name.
John De Luisa?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, no.
I wouldn't want him to go just because if he does go, he'll end up back at America.
No, it's not him. It's the other guy. Fuck. Forgot his name. He's got a fat ass forehead though.
Is he the Liga MX president?
Yeah.
Bonilla?
No, it's fuck, who is it? Arroya. Miquel.
Mikel Arriola.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking egghead. We have JP.
That guy's a politician.
JP. Welcome to the podcast, JP. How you feeling? Argentina's campeón. What are your thoughts? What are your emotions? Hello?
Well, yeah, no, I'm pissed. I mean, they were kind of gifted the whole tournament. But I was actually going to comment on like Liga MX. I don't know if you guys saw recently that they called them out. Like journalists came out in front of the president and all that of Mexico.
What'd they do?
So basically, they aired everything out. They had leaked conversations over the phone that people were having fake contracts and then contracts that they showed to the public, and that there was a ton of corruption with money, and so that it's going into investigation now. And I was going to ask if you knew about that, or if you think that's going to have any effect on how like Liga MX develops in the future, or like coaching and stuff like that develops.
That's news for me, but it definitely explains the fact that Mexico hasn't had. There's not even rumors of the next Mexican national team coach or like who could be a candidate. So it does sound like they are probably going to be restructuring everything, and yeah, hopefully more stuff starts to leak out.
Yeah, and this was done in front of the president of Mexico too. So like I don't know how deep that's gonna run. I'll probably link it later. I'll probably send it to you guys. It's from linea.mx. But yeah, no, it's really cool to finally see that they're getting called out in public and in front of the president.
Hey, JP, I seen that. I was gonna bring it up last show, but there was a bunch of other topics going on. But I don't think anything's gonna happen, man. I mean, everyone knew those problems already. People were just this time. What was surprising, like you said, is that they brought it out to like the national media, to like where the in that little conference the president has.
Mm-hmm.
The timing of that was very suspicious.
Oh, I see.
Like for instance, you usually don't see Televisa. I think people exaggerate when they say Televisa doesn't criticize America and the league and things like that. But this time with that show Los Maestros, you you could see that the panelists were like pointing like the issues surrounding Liga MX, and like you said, they brought all that up during that little press conference, and and they were smearing a bunch of teams. I was telling Joel this. I think maybe Televisa is beefing with some of the team presidents. Maybe that's why they came out with all that information.
Very interesting. Yeah, hopefully the can of worms gets open and we start to see what's going on. But there just needs to be a change. I mean, that's the big thing. Mexico obviously failed in this World Cup, and I think like maybe they're ashamed. Like maybe they're like, you know what? Maybe we do need to change things around. But obviously, there's a lot of corruption, and the dollar is what matters, man. Follow the money, and it'll explain everything.
Exactly. Like, why would they change? Let's say they have a shit burger and it's made out of shit, and Argentina makes a regular burger, and the Mexican shit burger sells just as much or even more than the Argentine burger. Why would they change their shit burger up, man? Like, why would they switch up their whole dynamic if it's working?
Well, I think honestly, maybe it was because of missing out on round of 16 money and TV. I think that's probably a big factor. It's in Mexico's best interest for them to have at least like a fourth game. For them to go 3 and out doesn't really help anybody. And you have the next World Cup in the United States and Mexico and Canada, so you want like even the casual fans to have something to look forward to with the hosts. And there's going to be a lot of pressure to have a deep run like they did in 70 and 86.
For sure, because like you mentioned, like they definitely did lose some money off not making it past the group stage. And if you think about it, these guys, all these owners, and even the television, the Televisa and Azteca, they never experienced this up
Yeah.
until like what they said the 1970 World Cup. Uh, Like a whole always says, "Oh, Mexico's been consistent." Yeah, like consistently mediocre, but
Yep.
they've never been this bad. they've never experienced being this bad.
90 was the last time they, well, obviously they were banned from that World Cup. So it's been a long time since FMF hasn't gotten that bonus check.
Can you guys correct me if I'm wrong? Did Mexico not qualify for the next Olympics?
Nope, they didn't.
So they're not going to participate in the LA Olympics.
Are they in LA?
I'm pretty sure they're in LA.
The next Olympics are here in the States? Really?
Yeah. LA's been sending all their homeless to San Diego just so they can clean up for the Olympics.
It says Paris, France.
Oh.
Unless we're talking about winter.
No, I also heard that they were trying to bring the Olympics to the U.S. maybe after Paris.
It says here LA Olympics for
maybe the Special Olympics, dog. I just googled it. It said in Paris, France, from July to August 2024.
Okay.
Los Angeles will be in 2028. Wait, are they doing it every 2 years now? Or maybe
it's every 4 years, 2 years after the World Cup. So we have World Cup, then 2 years later Olympics, 2 years later another World Cup, 2 years later.
Huh. What's the one in Italy then? That's weird. It says Paris, France, August 2024, and then Milan in 2026, and then USA 2028, and then Brisbane, Australia 32.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure Winter Olympics, same year as World Cup.
Oh, okay.
And then 2 years later, so the Summer Olympics is
winter.
like,
yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. So the next Winter Olympics in 2 years could be Paris, and Mexico's not in it.
No, the next Winter Olympics is in China, I think.
No. Mexico soccer is a summer sport.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. You're right.
So yeah.
Yeah, the young players, man, they're not gonna have those opportunities.
So we go from gold medal to silver to bronze medal, and to no participation,
and then getting trounced in the group stage, and then losing Nations League and Copa de Oro against USA. Yeah, we're at the rock bottom of Mexico in a long time. I would say we haven't been this bad since like
2013.
I would say when in recent times, I would say like us almost not making it to the World Cup.
2013
but the Leagues Cups are on the corner.
The what?
The Leagues Cup.
Oh, the Leagues Cup, the prestigious Leagues Cup, yes.
Yeah. The Libertadores and Champions mixed into one. According to some.
Yeah, and a little bit more light has been shed on the Leagues Cup and obviously the MLS deal for next year. It's all on Apple TV Plus. You're gonna have to pay to watch MLS on Apple TV, nowhere else. And I believe Univision has picked up the Leagues Cup in Spanish, and I think it's just for the playoffs. So yeah, if people weren't watching the MLS now, it's going to be a lot less in the future.
Yeah. So as long as Univision doesn't send it to that goddamn VIX.
Oh yeah, VIX Plus.
That shit bugs the hell out of me.
That was actually the reason why Univision won't be picking up any MLS matches, because they were trying to send those to VIX Plus, and they didn't want to do that. So in the end, it's just going to be Apple TV if you want to watch MLS matches.
No, thank you.
I don't know.
What if Ochoa joins LAFC, man? That's going to be you.
I wouldn't even wake up to see him at a Jet show. Club America's my team. That's about it.
Speaking of Club America, we have another Club America fan on here. Ron, feel free to request to speak if you got anything on your mind. Oh, he just dropped out. He's shy. Yeah, I don't know, folks. It was as far as World Cup goes, like I would say this was probably like the best one I've seen in my lifetime. I don't know if you guys agree. Obviously, like putting aside our biasness towards Argentina, I think overall it was a really entertaining tournament. A lot of surprises, a lot of upsets.
Mm, Overall, I would rank the Brazil World Cup better.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
I will say the final was a little bit melodramatic. You know, it wasn't. It was like anticlimactic. The final.
in 2014,
Yeah, when Argentina lost to Germany.
game ended in a draw and then extra time. Like it nearly replayed itself with that big miss at the end of the game for that France striker.
Not as bad as Higuain.
Well, yeah, yeah. But see that World Cup, if you can imagine Tevez coming off the bench instead of Rodrigo Palacio, like his little beef with Messi is what kept Tevez off that team.
Carlitos.
Yeah, but no. Overall, I had a lot more fun with the 2014 World Cup. I had a lot more fun with the '98 World Cup.
98 was
Sa-
good.
same Johnny. I also think the Brazil one. I enjoyed the Brazil one,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I enjoyed the '98 one, even though I was much younger. But and even the 2002 Korea one, even though it was very early in the morning, what I really didn't like was the timing of this World Cup, man. I just could. I'm real busy in this time of year, and I
yeah,
just need it to be during the summer. It
yeah.
didn't even feel like a World Cup.
I was doing my first set of law school finals during the knockout stages. Like this World Cup really just sucks on so many levels, and Mexico's performance is among them, but it's not even the top reason.
Yeah,
I think just because it's fresh in my mind, and I think of like a lot of matches that were very entertaining, went to like the final minutes, and that's why.
Yeah,
And there was a lot of like a lot of goals. I don't know how many goals this World Cup ended up being. 98. There was 171, and I believe that was the record to beat. And I want to say this one got very, very close, especially obviously with today's 6 goal final. So definitely for me up
yeah,
there. Obviously, it is a little bit amargo with Mexico crashing out early. I think that's the only thing from like a personal standpoint that did upset me because in the end, what the fuck did Poland do? Poland did not a goddamn thing. So it's
you,
like you hate to see that, and you
like
also I hate to see Croatia that bent over as well. I would have much rather see Brazil, Argentina in the semis. Those were the only 2 things I'm like, you know what, that could have been better. But
mm. Probably my favorite non-Mexico World Cup moment was the in 2002, the first match of the World Cup, seeing out of nowhere Senegal beat the defending World Cup champions France. Like that to me was like one of the most magical moments, and I've liked watching Senegal games ever since.
yeah, they were refreshing to see in this World Cup. And you think about Ecuador, who Valencia had a great tournament, and suddenly it was like cut short, because they kind of shot the bed there.
Yeah,
But Senegal's coach was part of that 2002 World Cup, if I'm not mistaken.
he was, yeah.
Yeah.
The goal was scored by El Hadji Diouf, who was
Oh
teammates with
yeah.
teammates with Jared Borghetti at Bolton.
He had those crazy hairstyles, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
dreads.
no, the bleached, like the almost shaved head, but bleached.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
As far as like the biggest deception of the tournament, would you say that's Germany?
Uh, could be Germany, yeah. Um, See, I don't think I know enough about England soccer to know if it was a letdown or against France, or that's just what they're capable of. If that's just their true level. Like I feel England can do a lot better than quarterfinals, semifinals.
You know, I don't know where if you talk about entitlement, they're definitely another country that has like that entitlement just because they claim they invented the sport and everybody says that the Premier League is the best in the world. I personally think that the Premier League is one of the best leagues in the world. And when it comes to like their international performances though, apart from that World Cup that they won in 66, obviously hosting it, like England at the World Cup has not done that well.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I don't know if we can categorize them as a disappointment or that's just their true level.
I think that's their level. I think they overachieved in the 2018 World Cup when they made the semifinals.
Yeah, it could be, but yeah, definitely Germany would be the. I still, even though the fact that they didn't participate, it makes them the biggest disappointment. Italy.
Yeah, Italy, man. That one's a head scratcher. The Euro winners and not getting into the World Cup for the second consecutive time. That's definitely questionable.
Yeah, yeah, that's because Italy are my European team. Like I got to go see Mexico against Italy in the '94 World Cup, and ever since then I've cheered for Mexico and Italy.
They got the same flag.
Yeah, like it was such a great match in DC. Goals from the golazo from Marcelino Bernal. But yeah, I've been an Italy fan since, and it sucks that they're not in the World Cup two
94, they
in a row.
had 3 European teams in that group, right?
They did. They had Bulgaria, Italy,
And Norway.
and Norway.
Yeah. And they got
Where was
out.
that game held at?
All teams tied with 4 points in that group stage.
That was yeah. That one was in DC, and back in those days, I think a win was still 2 points.
Because they
Yeah,
won and then they tied the other ones?
yeah. There was a
That's
win and two
crazy.
a win and two draws. Back then, it was Italy thought that with the draw they were eliminated, but back then also third places made it out of the group.
Oh. Was it 24 teams then? It wasn't 32?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm looking at
like
England at the World Cup and like they've only been to like one final and then a semi. That's it.
yeah,
It's
that's
crazy because they always produce good players, but they just can't. They just never happen to be in sync with each other.
but yeah,
That's where the club rivalries like, you had Manx and Scousers and Londoners, you had a lot of animosity because those clubs that hatred runs deep, and especially Liverpool, Manchester United, you just can't get those guys. You can't.
yeah. I've heard that like the biggest England national team supporters are like bottom of the table fans. The Manchester Uniteds and the Liverpool supporters, they won't cheer on for England.
Yeah, it makes sense. I also think it's very interesting that when it comes to the not the World Cup, the Olympics, it's Great Britain. It's not England. So it's like,
Uh, So Scotland and Wales don't participate in the Olympics.
yeah, it's very interesting. That-
I did hear like a long time ago that FIFA recognized way more countries than the Olympics and than the UN.
Yeah,
So
that's crazy.
that's like there's a handful right there that FIFA recognizes that others don't.
Especially like Ireland has 2 national teams.
Yeah, yeah. Northern Ireland and Ireland.
Another deception for me was Brazil. I'm not gonna lie. I think a lot of people had them at least semis, and for them to get eliminated quarterfinals, I consider that a failure.
You th- but
Definitely.
but talent wise, do you really think they were at semifinals? It's not the same Brazils that we grew up on. Was like the Ronaldos, Ronaldinhos, Rivaldos.
I think individually they do have a lot of talent, but obviously collectively as a group, that's where they sort of don't have that same cohesion as those squads you mentioned. You talk about like, 2002, 98, 90, 94, like those Brazil teams were
Yeah.
fucking impressive. And I think most of them didn't really play in Europe. They were mainly in the domestic league.
That level superstar. I think only we can put Neymar there, but I can't really pick out other Brazilian superstars from the squad at that level.
I think Vinny had a really good World Cup.
Yeah, good but not great.
Dude's fast, man. Speaking about speed, Mbappe, that guy has like 2 lungs, man. I don't know how that dude was still like sprinting and looked lively towards the end of the regulation time and overtime. This dude, man.
That's because France just walked around for 45 minutes.
They were letting Argentina punch themselves out. That's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah, I was before the penalty, I was looking at the way Argentina were playing. Like they can't keep this up past 25, 30 minutes. But the goal changed everything.
Yeah.
But had there not been a penalty, France would have started to pick up the pace around the 30th minute of the first half.
Yeah, you're right. Argentina looked very lively in those first minutes and a lot of intensity, a lot of energy. And France were just like, walk in the park. This is a friendly. They were just so laid back. It was almost offending. Like, dude, what the fuck? You guys got all the way here. And now you're like, not even trying, messing up easy passes and throw ins. Like, what is happening?
Yeah, but by the same token, Argentina couldn't keep up that pace towards the end, and that's when Mbappe starts, turning on the gas.
Afterburners, yeah, man.
Yeah.
I think he's better than Messi ever was.
Messi just has a lot of raw. He's one of those raw talent players that I don't think his work ethic ever put him ever anywhere near Cristiano Ronaldo's work ethic. Just because he did have that raw, and I mean, there's always those type of people that they're just naturally good that they don't even try, and you get frustrated because if they tried, they'd be so much better.
Like Ronaldinho.
Yeah, and who did Messi learn from?
Ronnie.
Who did Giovanni Dos Santos learn from? Like Messi and Giovanni Dos Santos were basically Ronaldinho's students.
And it's such a shame because Messi learned like how to play soccer, and all Gio learned from Ronaldinho was how to party.
Yeah, but again, Messi he was born with that natural talent, but
He was also pumped up with a bunch of steroids, so there's that.
yeah, if you would have given Messi Cristiano Ronaldo's work ethic, that guy would have been winning his 4th World Cup right now.
Yeah. Also, like at the end of the day, like you can have the talent and the work ethic, and what good is that if you have a shitty ass supporting cast? And I think for both of those players, especially Ronaldo, they don't have the another 10 Ronaldos on the team, as he himself has said that in the past. Ronaldo has said that. He's like, I needed 10 more Cristianos on my team to win something. I'm like, fuck.
I mean, that is very true of any team sport, but then there's also people with the leadership, like Cristiano Ronaldo led his team to a Euro, like Maradona carried Napoli from obscurity to winning Serie A, and also leading Argentina in '86.
And that's where I think the difference is, right? You have players like Maradona who really did carry the team on his back and really did make those, history making plays. And he's the reason why Napoli were so successful, Argentina was so successful. You think about Messi, like I don't know, man. I just don't see it. I don't see him apart from getting those fucking penalties. Like he had a penalty in almost every single game in this tournament, man. It's like, come on.
Yeah, that leadership skill is not there for Messi.
And
He'll-
he never had his moment. Just like you mentioned with Maradona having that handball, like everyone knows him for that, and that run and that excellent run he had against England.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean,
Messi, well, he has penalties.
this World Cup, I will like probably my favorite play of the tournament is that through ball that Messi put for the goal against
Was
the
it
Netherlands.
Netherlands? Yeah, that was a good
Like that-
pass.
Yeah, that kind of like, all right, you finally showed up for a play. Like that's the type of player you need to be at all times.
Yeah, we have Ron on the pod. Ron, how you feeling? I know you had Argentina winning this, so congrats to you. Your mic's on mute, but feel free to speak up whenever you're ready. Ricardo, you had something to say?
Oh, I'm on. Sorry about that. Yeah. Hey, guys. No, I thought it was a great game. One of the things that I was thinking about, hearing you guys talk, that, and I remember, because I saw Messi's first World Cup when I was in Germany. And I saw his second when I was in South Africa. And I remember in South Africa, obviously that was when the whole tiki taka craze Barcelona thing was, it was really at its height, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember a lot of the Argentine, fans and also reporters. One of the things that they used to really, rag on Messi being with the Argentina is that they expected Messi to operate the same way that he was operating in Barcelona, right?
Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
and one of the things, and that was true even going into the 2014. But one of the things, and I tweeted this, with Scaloni. I mean, he's the first. Not even Belardo and not even Menotti have the honors that he has. And for me, as me growing up I used to really admire, and I still admire a lot of the Argentine coaching, especially the school of Bilardo, the school of Menotti, and stuff like that, right? And how that kind of went into Mexican soccer. And it's just it's weird that like Scaloni didn't they didn't expect much of this guy. And
Was
I
he
think
the caretaker and then he just became the coach?
no, he didn't. He never had. He didn't have he didn't have managerial experience. He didn't have he didn't have a strong resume to begin with in terms of even at the club level.
Where'd this
You
fucker
know,
come from, man?
no, he's. I mean, he was part of the what is it the Germany squad and stuff like that. But for me, I think that because I guess I don't know, maybe the expectations weren't that high of him. The guy was able to work and stuff like that. And it's like in the past 4 years, and I guess maybe because of Barcelona's downfall, but no one was expecting Messi to play or to assume the role that he had, with Barcelona during their heyday. So, I mean, when I look at Argentina, like this World Cup, squad, and I compare them to like, the 14, the 20, or sorry, the 10 and the 6, I mean, man per man, I think that this is actually one of the weaker teams when you compare them man per man. But in terms of the collective, I thought they played really well.
Yeah,
Uh,
I agree. On Wikipedia, it
but,
says
but
that Scaloni and Pablo Amar were named caretakers after the failure in Russia.
yeah, and I mean, honestly, this guy, he's got a Copa America, he's got a Copa America runner up, and then now this World Cup. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, if I'm Messi, I would try to go for the next Copa America, really cement his place, because I mean, I think what he did, last year than this year. I think the debate is, and it's funny because that's even trending right now. The debate is over.
Nah, if I was Messi, I'd retire from football right now.
Nah.
Just,
Oh wait, he did say that. Well, he said it was his last World Cup,
He
right?
said it's his last World Cup, but keep in mind he also quit the national team once before.
Yeah, he did.
So I think he has it in him. I think
I don't think he'll be back for another one though. Like World
I
Cup.
read
Think about
McAllister, what's
retiring with the World Cup in your hand, or just like a tournament in South America that only only that a quarter of the world watches.
uh, you know what? Winning the Copa America basically opened the floodgates for Argentina. That was their, winning an international title. That was their quinto partido for them. You know,
He's 35. Copa America's in 2 years from now. I think.
McAllister, his father played with Maradona, right? A couple of days ago, he said, when they were asking him to make those comparisons, he says Messi's better. He said at 35, Maradona was a former player.
Maradona was doing lines at halftime.
I mean, personally, I still take Maradona, but it's what, like I said, what he's done, what he's done the past, special, like I said, last year and then this year, impressive. And personally, I think his mistake would be to go to MLS. I think he needs to stay in Europe.
Do you think he'll go to the MLS? I don't think he will.
There's too many rumors by even some prominent journalists that that you never know.
This dude still wants to win another Champions League just to take the shank that he's just got into Ronaldo and just to twist it a little bit more. I think he's gonna try and just obliviate Ronaldo's records now that he has that over him. Oh, dude, are you kidding me?
Do you remember when Portugal won? When Portugal won the Euro Cup in 2016, it was almost like the debate is over.
Yeah.
Because, Portugal doing that, and then the Nations League, it's like that put Ronaldo on top, and now then Messi with the Copa America and now World Cup.
Yeah. Ronaldo right now, he's like Rocky. He's just he's ready for the next World Cup. He's like, fuck this, dude.
I don't know. These guys eat better. They train better. They have better medicine than they did back even 20, 25 years ago. So, that really at this point, 35 is just a number.
I don't think I think Ronaldo's he's going to suit up for another one now after this.
And I always tend to agree with what Menotti used to say about age. For me, it's not, young players or older players. It's good players and bad players.
When you get older, right, you don't have like those advantages anymore as far as like the speed goes, or maybe the stamina. But what you do have is the experience and just being able to position yourself better, right? Like I'm not very impressed with like Ambrats and the other Moroccan player that had like the craziest stats with like running around the pitch and having like 20 kilometers a game. That just means that you just suck at positioning. Like if you know your position well, you set yourself up for success. And I think when you get older, you go into those role playing, like positions on the team, and you kind of sit back a little bit more, and you set yourself up for these plays.
No, but with that Moroccan player Amrad, if he ran that much, he's a defensive midfielder. That means he was attacking and defending.
Yeah,
like I've seen Guido Rodriguez play live with Tijuana in America, and that guy he's defending with the goalkeeper next to him, and then he's attacking right next to the striker.
Yeah,
that's how you get your kilometers in when you play that defensive midfield position.
No, I get it, but like when you get older and the craftsmanship show up, it's kind of like Michael Jordan. He talked about it like when he was younger, he used to beat players with like his strength and his speed. But he says when he got older, he was better with like the craftsmanship and just knowing how to close out games. And he said that's where like the older age came in, and it kind of helped him when he retired and then came back. And I think that's where Messi is right now. You look at that goal he scored against Mexico. He kind of sat back a little bit and waited for that ball, and boom, he puts it away. That's all he needed.
What did you guys think of Dibu?
Of who?
I'll be honest with you, man. When the draw came out, a couple months back, and then you saw the reactions, Mexico, and he's like fácil. I really wanted to hate that guy, but seeing him how seeing him in Copa, obviously Copa America, but seeing him how he played this World Cup, with just
The
for
goalkeeper?
me, yeah, the goalkeeper. For me,
Oh,
that's almost like the way his attitude is almost like a reincarnation of Maradona, just like that alpha male in the group, that is like, dude, I wanted to hate the guy just because of what he said, but mad respects to the guy how he played, and I mean that.
But that's
yeah.
that,
You need a
that
shithead
just
on the team, you know? You need a shithead.
to me that's just being Argentine. I mean that's what we got in Nahuel Guzman at Tigres.
yeah, yeah,
Tell
yeah.
me that's not the same
But
attitude Nahuel Guzman has.
no, it's funny. It's funny you say that, Rico, because I had a cousin tell me, when the final was going to be Argentina in France. Well, obviously, the French also have that notoriety of being, arrogant and stuff like that. So he said, "Oh, va a ser un clásico de chocantes."
Yeah, yeah, and I mean we get to see that with Gignac and Nahuel every week in and week out.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
no, I thought that was, what Debo did this World Cup. I thought it was just one of the most, in terms of goalkeeping, the guy was just, he was on. I mean, my respects to the guy. I mean, that guy had a hell of a World Cup.
Goalkeepers need to have that kind of attitude, though. They got to have character. You look at Oliver Kahn, bro. That guy was a fucking psychopath. And like, you talk about like the historical like goalkeepers of all times, and like the ones that have been my favorites, like Chilavert. People with fucking attitude and
Yeah.
fucking balls, bro. And Higuita from
Buffon never
Colombia.
needed that.
Yeah,
Buffon never needed that. He let his skill do the talking.
Yeah,
yeah. No, I
but Buffon
understand,
also
but
had
there's also like
a hell of a defense around him, or in front of him, I should say.
was it the German goalkeeper Lehmann? I think
Huh?
he had those sort of like mind games. Look at the penalty shootouts and stuff.
The
And
finger nod.
It's funny. It's funny you mentioned what's his name, Oliver Kahn. He actually just read. I read an article a couple of days ago. He was talking about the depression and basically after the 2000 the
two.
World Cup. Yeah, how he just fell into a serious depression, and how he had to go see a shrink and
Well,
stuff
he
like
shit the
that.
bed in
And,
that final. Let's be honest.
yeah. So, but yeah, I thought for me, the really, seeing, Messi with not so much his play, he the guy played well, but basically, which is like, he's always been criticized about being, timid or, pecho frío and stuff like that, right? For me, I take Messi, and I take Messi. I really like DePaul. I really like, although he had a bad game against Mexico, I really liked how DePaul, Divo, and Messi, those guys were just, they were just leaders on the field.
Di Maria, bro.
He played an important role, man. He had also a great, no, but also I was
I think
really
Di
impressed.
Maria is the most underrated player on that team.
I think McAllister is. I thought his World Cup was phenomenal. His positioning, I mean, the guy, siete pulmones, man. That guy was just he was Johnny on the spot, man. He was amazing.
We have Josue Matias on the YouTube chat. Thanks for chiming in. He says, if Messi goes to South America, it would help raise the level for Copa Libertadores. I could see Messi end up in like Argentina again, more than I would see him go to MLS, because he doesn't know English.
Boca or River.
I don't think he would go to either.
I think he might follow Maradona's footsteps to Boca.
Isn't he a Rosario fan though? One of the teams from Rosario.
Newells.
Yeah.
Him and Tata Martino are gonna run Newell's.
But Argentines are crazy about Maradona, and I think they're crazy enough that he might follow.
I'm reading here. Fernando Schwartz tweeted a minute ago. Messi, in parentheses, no me voy de la selección. Quiero jugar un poco más como campeón del mundo. So,
You can share that tweet in the podcast.
yeah, I retweeted. Hold on, I'll retweet it.
You just hit the little share button and then you click on the podcast and then we can see it.
Shit, hold on 1 second. Because I'm actually with you guys on my phone, but this is on my PC, and I'm not.
Oh,
Look, I'm just gonna retweet it, and you get
I can
retweet it.
I can look it up right now. Yeah.
All right, I just retweeted it.
Okay. The good news is there's still plenty of world-class soccer today. We have Copa por Mexico. We have oh wait, no, it's tomorrow. I apologize. America Toluca tomorrow at 5 and then Chivas Santos tomorrow at 7. The prestigious Copa por Mexico.
So ESPN FC also tweeted this. He says, "I'm not retiring from the national team. I want to continue playing as a champion." So, all right. So, I guess we have the answer. He's not going to retire, which I'm glad he's not, man, because I'd really love to see him in. If Copa America, gets moved to the U.S., because a couple of days ago the CONMEBOL president acknowledged that it's not going to Ecuador after all.
Nice.
So
fuck yeah, bro. We got the money.
Well, I'm hoping it goes back to the U.S. I'd love to see it.
I'd love to see another 7-1 Chile against Mexico.
Yeah, I know.
I was about to say I got bad memories of Copa America in the U.S.
Wasn't Fernando? Wasn't he there with you at the presser?
Yeah, he was up there in the press box with me in San Francisco.
I remember the stupidest
dude. There was like my brother-in-law's family. They all bought tickets. They took their entire family to this fucking game. I'm like, dude, oh god. Imagine your first like soccer game as a kid is that, dude.
Yeah, that my first live soccer game was 9 years old. That World Cup, Mexico, Italy.
Wow. If you're Mbappe, how do you feel, man? You score a hat trick in the final, and it's still not enough to get you the trophy and defend your title.
I mean, it sucks today, but I think tomorrow, next week, he'll realize he's already a World Cup champion, and he's still got 3 more of these to play.
Yeah, for me, it's like Mbappe's chance of winning another one. I don't know, dude. Like this was his best chance, honestly, and I don't know, like with the expansion of the next one, 48 teams. I don't think France is gonna be able to like three-peat and get back to another final. It's just like very tough.
Yeah, it's always tough, but I mean, if Croatia can do two semifinals in a row and they're not that great, I don't see why France can't put themselves in a position.
Well, I think like this World Cup, and the reason why it's one of my favorites is you start to see the globalization of the sport, and you're starting to see that there really isn't much between these teams, man. It used to be a huge gap, and you look at a team like Morocco got to the semis. Obviously, you always have like that surprise country that has a deep run. You saw Korea do it. You saw Turkey do it. You saw who else was on a surprising. You've seen these things before, but you look at like Germany, you look at like Italy not even qualifying. You're starting to see that it's not so cut and dry anymore, and any country kind of has that opportunity to have a deep run. And
they do, but I feel like the quarterfinals are always the same cast of characters, with, like you said, one exception making a surprise deep run.
Mm-hmm.
Like without Morocco, think of what the quarterfinals would have been. It would be like
Portugal.
All the top teams that everybody expected.
Yeah, but now you look at the next one, and there's going to be 48 countries, and you're going to have countries that were not necessarily in their lifetime had a chance at one, and now they do. You look at countries like China, India, El
Is that
Salvador.
official though?
What's that?
Is that official though? The going because I thought I read something about how it's not going to be until next year until FIFA determines the exact the quantity and the format.
I was under the impression that this was official, but who knows? Maybe they'll change
I'll,
it.
all right, I'll have to look it up because one of the things the group stages they were very fun to watch and stuff like that and I know that they asked the FIFA president, some of the FIFA executives about it because what they were proposing was with the 40 plus teams or whatever, how it wasn't going to be, the groups weren't going to be even. So I think it was 2 days ago where I read that FIFA is going to determine that next year as to how the play or how the World Cup is going to be formatted and stuff. So, I mean, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful. I'm hoping that it still stays at 32. But in fact, let me try to look at it right now.
What would you guys like to see change in the World Cup? Just to throw some ideas out there, how would you guys feel about similar layout to Champions League? It would obviously not be able to be done in a month, but having in the group stage, being able to play the team twice in your group, I think I would like to see that.
No, then it's not a turn. Then I don't think it'll be like a real tournament because that would take 6 months, right? That'd take a whole semester.
I don't think it could take 6 months. I think it would take like another month. It would probably be like a 60-day tournament instead of a 30-day tournament.
But so for Champions League, you only have a host for the final. Those are like played home and away. That's the reason you play them twice, is to have home field advantage in one, and then you have to go up against their fans in the next.
Yeah, I just feel like I do enjoy the international like soccer, like countries, and I feel like more and more it's kind of hard to see the cross pollination. Now that all these countries are segregated because of the Nations League, and you don't really get to see these matchups anymore. And they're obviously a huge draw. They obviously mean a lot to the fans, and yeah, it would be tough logistically to like have a home and away like type of thing. But I don't know. I just feel like sometimes like we're kind of like like you might have an off day, like how Argentina did against Saudi Arabia, but then on the return leg, it might be a little bit different. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I, I, I guess I'm an old school purist. I would want the World Cup to stay at 32 teams, but I don't know if having three host nations for the 32 team World Cup is that feasible. I think if you're gonna have three host nations, you do have to up it more than 32 teams, even though I wouldn't want it.
Yeah, because like, what good is having three countries hosted if they're only going to have a handful of games? And I think originally, like Mexico was only going to have like maybe 10 matches or some bullshit like that. It's like at that point, what's the fucking point?
Yeah, because if you keep it at 32, then the rest of CONCACAF is playing for what, half a ticket to go to the Oceania playoff?
That's correct. So I think they do have to expand it to 48.
Yeah. So one they fucked up by giving it to three host countries, and especially three host countries as huge as
Yeah.
U.S., Mexico, because you can have three host countries that are pretty small in size.
Yeah. You think of like Europe, right?
Yeah, where like the size of California would still be bigger than those three host countries.
Yeah. For fans, it's kind of a nightmare. It's like having to go to like Vancouver and then having to go to Mexico City and then having to go to DC. It's like, dude, it's like logistically, it's a nightmare to get
Yeah.
if you're trying to follow your country or whatever. I know you guys on the podcast mentioned, I think previous episode, that you guys don't like the third place match and it's kind of like pointless. Um, Obviously Croatia was like they won it yesterday against Morocco and they looked like they were happy. Um,
Hey, Jaime,
Yeah.
going back to the format, yeah, I found the article from BBC Sports. It says Infantino said, "Here the groups of four have been absolutely incredible. Until the last minute of the match, you would not know who goes through. We have to revisit or at least rediscuss the format. This is something that will certainly be on the agenda in the next meeting." So that's from the FIFA president.
Yeah, because I
But,
think groups of
but
3 just doesn't work out, right?
no, I'm hoping that it stays at 32. I really do. I think that that's the perfect or at least
So
that's right now. I think that's the ideal number.
from the sounds of that, they're gonna look at how to format the groups, but I still think it's gonna be over 32 because again, just the sheer size of the countries and the spots that they're taking up.
It would
Uh,
it would probably be because like the reason they're doing groups of 3 is because it works out perfectly for like what 16 groups,
Yeah,
and then you have 2 from each group, and it's like 32. So it like it even makes sense. But you could do some bullshit where it's like 48 countries, groups of 4. You have 12 groups, and then you kind of do like the whole like the third best, the third the team in third place with the best record. Like I don't know, it would be kind of sloppy, but yeah, I'm not sure what they're thinking. One thing I would like to see implement into the World Cup, um don't get me wrong, obviously today like the overtime and Argentina scoring and then France scoring and then going to penalties. That's nice and all, but I might be on the minority here. But fuck it, dude, bring back the golden goal, man. El próximo gol gana, bro. That's cascarita shit. It's like
no, that's gonna create a lot of defensive.
yeah,
Imagine two teams parking the bus.
yeah, that's no good. And I did like the extra time because I mean, you pay for 90 minutes. I want 90 minutes.
yeah, but what's the
So
difference? Because you have obviously Morocco and Croatia like tying games and forcing them all the way to PKs.
no, but personally, I'm not a big fan of the golden goal, because obviously I mean, like Rico said here, you do change tactics, and you do tend to be a little bit more defensive.
You take less risks because if you fuck up, you're out, you're eliminated. I get that, but I don't know, man. I think like that thrill of just knowing it's over with a goal, like that feeling, dude. That shot of adrenaline, like, dude,
Yeah,
crazy.
no, I I experienced that with Club America in 2002.
Yeah,
The we ended our
with
13 year
Castillo.
sequilla. Yeah, we ended our 13-year sequilla with a golden goal, but it's
Wait,
still
who'd you
like
guys beat?
Necaxa.
Necaxa.
Oh, was that when they were still owned by the same owner?
Yep.
Yeah, but it was not
But
rigged. Adolfo Rios had to make some spectacular saves that went off the post. Necaxa were trying to hurt us.
It's just like that other bullshit final against San Luis.
Wait, which final?
Didn't America beat San Luis in a final? Or am I tripping?
No, they beat Tecos like 6-2.
Oh, that goes. No, I
So
swear they played a final against San Luis. No.
no,
Oh,
not for the league.
huh. Maybe a semifinal or something.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I don't know. Switch it up. Fucking make it entertaining. Fuck PKs. Let's do like the MLS shootout. That would be fucking entertaining, bro. I would
No,
love to see that.
how about this novel idea? You can't find a winner in 120 minutes. Everybody goes home. You play again tomorrow.
Kind of like the FA Cup. Yeah, you have a replay.
Yeah, we get 2 matches out of it.
That would be a nightmare. Nah, it needs to be settled in one day. It's because, like, I don't know, like PK shootouts, it's just like a flip of a coin at that point. And I don't know, it kind of takes away from like everything that happened in the match. But I guess for now, this is going to be the format. it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I think soccer's the world's most popular sport for a reason. I don't think we should be reinventing the wheel either.
How do you guys feel about the now that you guys are mentioning the penalty kicks? Because I was watching the other day a Champions League final rematch. It was Bayern against Valencia, and I swear almost all of the penalty kicks taken, the goalie was off the line. The ones they blocked. I mean, do you think that takes away from it? I actually enjoyed before where they would be able to move around more.
I know for sure a big culprit of that was the comeback from Liverpool when they beat Milan and they went to PKs. Almost every PK, the goalkeeper was off the line.
I mean, I I think they should give the goalkeepers a little more freedom, but
It
you know,
was
I'm a
it was always a rule, right? It just wasn't enforced back then, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, no, back in the day, actually, they're giving goalkeepers a little more freedom now that there's VAR. Because back in the day, both feet had to be on the line.
Now it's like one.
Now you just have to keep one.
Yeah.
So they're giving, they're taking. Like you can have a foot, but we're gonna really enforce it this time.
I've mentioned this before in a couple episodes back. I would like to see the ability to sub somebody back in once they've been subbed out. That would be very interesting.
Yeah, imagine Giroud coming back on the pitch today.
I would love that. I would love to
He
see that kind of because that would fuck up your tactics, dude. Straight
yeah
up.
he got subbed out in the first half. Imagine coming on.
Especially if you want to prolong the careers of some of these icons, you have Messi maybe start the first 20, 30 minutes of the match, then you take him out at halftime, then you let him finish the next, the last 20 minutes. It's like you use them sparingly.
I think there would have to be a limit, but I can see that.
Like you can only do it with one player. I think that
Mhm.
would be like fair.
Yeah, or have like your designated players that can come in and out, like a handful, and you can only maybe do it once,
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
but it has to like within the five substitutions you already get. I think five is already enough. I think five is enough. I'm not complaining that go back to three, but I think five is a good number.
I was like watching this final, like, God damn, how many subs has there been? There's so many substitutions on both sides. I was like, did they up it to 5? I thought it was like 4.
No. So ever since COVID, it's been five substitutions in three windows,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how
and
I
I
feel
think
about that.
and I think today France got an extra one because if you take one off for like a head protocol injury,
Oh, okay.
you get you have to sub them out, and then you just like
You have
get
like
one
a
back.
freebie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. Well, folks, we're almost at the 2-hour mark. I appreciate you guys hopping on. This was not like scheduled. We kind of just wanted to do it while it's still the heat of the moment. Argentina champions of the World Cup for the third time, and we're gonna hear about that nonstop for the next 4 years. I'm not looking forward to that. Um, I want to know you guys' like last final thoughts on this World Cup, your favorite moment, and your worst moment of the World Cup.
Well, I guess before anyone takes it up, my favorite moment would be Luis Chavez's goal. Um, it was it was first of all it was super spectacular, but it gave that hope that you know it was possible. It put us within a goal. Either we had to score a goal or Argentina had to score a goal, and I didn't think Mexico would have that kind of hope coming into the game. So Luis Chavez giving us that hope was really special.
I also enjoyed the Chavez goal, but I would have to go 1A and 1B would be Argentina losing to Saudi Arabia. I really enjoyed that game, and to and the world, like I said before, I enjoyed the football. I just didn't enjoy the timing of it and all the extra bullshit that went around with this World Cup.
Ron, what you got for us?
Nothing. I'm just reading articles. Just I don't know. It's just a little sad in the sense that Mexico could have eliminated Argentina if they would have put a little bit 5% effort, at least 5% percent more effort. You know, because you just see how many teams that normally make the knockout rounds did not make it. I think it would have been easier. I mean, it's still hard, but relatively speaking, I think it would have been an easier path to get, to get those demons off, get that, past that damn, fourth game. That's what I think about is if Mexico would have put a little bit more effort.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier about how this is all in Mexico's hands. This entire the small domino and then the large domino where Argentina ends up being champion. It all comes from Mexico.
Well, I mean, if you really think about it, that was in terms of tactical, in terms of tactics, that was probably Argentina's toughest game. And all it took was just 5 seconds of Herrera, to basically just wander off 2-3 yards out.
Not even 5 seconds. That was like
but even then, that's not on Herrera, man. Because to me, if we would have put at least 5% more effort in trying to score, I think they would have been a completely different ballgame. And to like Argentina's credit, I think at all times they were trying to play not for the, and I know it sounds weird, but they were trying to play for the win, not the result. And that changes the mentality and how you set up. And what I think that's what I think Tata was doing, was trying to play for the result as opposed to playing for the win.
And in the end, we still lost, and that's the part that pisses me off the most.
Yeah. But it is what it is, and basically you got 3.5 years to set the course, and all I'm hopeful is that between now and then, both the federation and the league get their act together in terms of what we spoke about the past couple of weeks, getting back into the South American tournaments, reducing the number of foreigners in the league, and just giving more opportunities to not both players and coaches, because there was a TikTok, or not a TikTok, there was a video that I saw, of a couple. I'll try to find it. I'll try to retweet it, but it goes back from like 2017. And like it has, interviews of like, Mexican pundits. Oh, hey, we're out of the Copa, Libertadores. Hey, we're out of, the Copa America. We're out of this. We're out of. There's not going to be any more promotion relegation, and the video culminates with Mexico eliminated in the group stage. Something that hasn't happened from 78. That's what really pisses me off, because you saw it coming.
Yeah.
You saw it coming.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, a couple of highlights from the World Cup that I thoroughly enjoyed. Group E, man. Group E, the last match of the group, where at one point every single country in that group was in the next round. You had Japan, you had Spain, you had Germany, you had Costa Rica, who couldn't just hold on to the lead. For me, that was like a very, very entertaining part of the World Cup. I was like, holy shit! Every two minutes, it was because they kept putting the table on the broadcast, and they were showing how it was flipping. I found that very entertaining. I found the goal that Netherlands scored against Argentina to tie the game and take it to penalty, or was it penalties? Where they or overtime. I don't know what it was, but it was like the free kick and the pass. I thought that was like a crazy moment in the World Cup. France, England, Harry Kane missing the second PK. I mean, that's like a shocking moment in the World Cup. I found all those moments just like the peak. And then also like even today, France down, 2 goals, the penalty kick, and then Mbappe's second goal. That to me, that might be like my favorite goal of the tournament. Just like the finishing, the volley, just like the execution. It reminds me of Alan Pulido's goal for Chivas in the final against Tigres. It's just very similar. I really enjoyed that. Obviously, the Luis Chavez goal, that was just like a shot of adrenaline. We thought that game was dead in the water, and he did give us that hope. But obviously, like the saddest part of the World Cup was Mexico's performance, especially seeing how it ended up playing out after the fact. How like Poland didn't do absolutely a goddamn thing, and Mexico had the opportunity to at least put up a fight. The way we bent over for Argentina and Poland, I don't respect Tata for that. And I think that's the shame of the World Cup. And I'll leave it at that. I think the only silver lining of this World Cup being in December is that we're that much closer to another World Cup, 3.5 years instead of 4 years. So we're not that far away from that. And hopefully we see some restructuring with Mexico. Hopefully we see that they actually do care about performing better and giving the opportunity to youth players. We shall see. But yeah, we have Copa por Mexico happening right now. So we'll make sure to broadcast again on our regularly scheduled podcast, maybe a Tuesday or Wednesday night this week at 9 p.m. Be there or be square. It's been a fantastic World Cup, and you guys make it the best part by hopping on Twitter Spaces. So we appreciate you guys so much. And of course, we will catch you guys in the next one.